Greetings and welcome to Energize You TV. This is a special program just for you because these experts that I'm bringing to you today, it had to be a special. And you know what? Are you wanting to feel more energy without another cup of coffee? Did you know that science revealed rhythmic breath work increases oxygen flow, fueling both mind and body? That's why today, special show just for you, because it is the biggest buzz going on right now, is all about energy, all about breath work, and all about how to feel better. And that's why today, breathing into clarity, the neuroscience behind life's real magic pill. And we've heard about this magic pill, but these guys, I just adore both of these guys. We have Eldin Hasa is coming on all the way from London. He's coming on today. And then also Preston Weekes is coming on, who is the brain coach. And oh my gosh, so excited, right? To have both of these gentlemen come on. And remember, these are going to be writer-downers for sure. So go and get your pens, your pencils, get something to write on because we're going today. And make sure you're drinking your water. And you know I'm a water pusher. I'm the breath pusher. So please, over almost 30 years, get your water. And you know what? Because I love doing this so much, go ahead and be kind. And go ahead and share this with your sisters, your brothers, your moms, your dad, whoever that is that really wants to understand energy and about how breath work really works and how you really step into that. And you might be going, well, I'm not really sure what this energy thing is all about. Well, that's why this is important. Science tells us that everything is energy. And everything out there right now in the mainstream is talking about that, and even Einstein. And he even showed us that everything is connected through energy. Everything we can't see. Have you ever walked into a room and all of a sudden you felt heavy? Yes, that's energy. Or you've been around somebody, people say it's me, and all of a sudden you start being really happy and you're like, what happened there? That is energy. And everything is energy and it moving. But it's like you have, not like, this is really true, your biofield. And your biofield is real. It's your personal energy bubble. It's kind of like the aura, right? Because you do have an aura around you. And that's a little bit more woo-woo, I would say, but yet it's real. Because we all have an aura, we all have a biofield that's around us. And the thing is that our heart actually creates a measurable magnetic field that projects beyond your body, and it is amazing. And here's how it works. And this is the thing, is understanding energy. So rub your hands together, clap your hands, rub your hands, and go ahead and feel the energy in between your hands. That is real. That is energy. And the reason why I show that is because you have a vibrational biofield around you. And remember, this energy is powerful, and it's just like a musician conductor, right? With an orchestra. You can learn how to use your own biofield and move your energy. And it's really exciting when this happens because you'll understand how beautiful energy really is. And in that energy is what I do also. And just like I do when I am at the eWomen Network Phoenix chapter, I am invited as the event energy conductor. And that, my friends, is powerful. People feel this energy all the way around. And what happens is this is the thing, is holding space for an event. I guide the invisible energy of people, spaces, and events in their biofield. So I do not go into their energies. I do not interrupt that. But the thing is, and this is the exciting part, is that you're already an energy conductor. Because you can move energy, you can balance energy, you manage energy. The biggest thing is change the form of the energy. That's the point. Just like tuning an instrument, you can tune your own energy. Isn't that exciting? I think it's very exciting that you know this, that you understand that you are the one that can do this. Now, the thing is, though, is we want to go ahead and remove and release. And let's just do that. Let's do a releasing of energy, of negative energy or heavy energy in 30 seconds or less. Now, that is my book, The Ignite, which is raise your energy in 30 seconds or less naturally so that you have more energy, joy, and abundance. And it's about energy. So let's take 30 seconds and remove and release any and all energies that no longer serve you. There you go. Just remove it, release it on all levels, all dimensions, past, present, and future. And feel this energy. And just imagine this clearing energy coming through you. And as this clearing energy is coming through you, it is dissolving any of the patterns that shame, blame, guilt, fear, and trying too hard. Any of that energy. It's just removing, releasing, and feel this now as it's clearing out and clearing clouds. Because we, us, and Preston and Eldin, we want you to be right here with us. And in that, we want you to be clear, focused, grounded, so that you absorb this universal energy of healing and abundance and great stability of your relationships, to how you serve others, to how we relate to the movement of the beauty of this earth and how this energy works. To take another deep breath, please, because I want to bring you into this coherence, this alignment, this calibration for you to be more connected to your higher source, to your energy, to that understanding of the wisdom, information, and knowledge we're going to be bringing you today. And this special is totally used, because remember, your energy can shift in 30 seconds or less if you let it, if you connect to it and really absorb this energy. And this is the big part too, is many people ask me, how does Reiki relate to breath work, and how does this healing? So let's talk about Reiki healing, and let's take a breath together. Inhale slowly, and then exhale. And go ahead and exhale. And I love this one right here where it says Reiki helps you leave a lighter footprint in your energy field, because it does. Science is now providing about breathwork is something that Reiki practitioners, like we've known for decades, and that the breath is the bridge between the balance, the healing, and the clarity. For example, in 2017, a study came out and it found that just 20 minutes of slow breathing lowered cholesterol, the stress hormone, and boosted calm. Oh my gosh. And when we talk about Reiki, we see the same thing. When you align your breath with intention, the energy field begins to soften. Then the nervous system relaxes and the body opens to this healing, which is just the beginning of the energy field. So understanding this when you're laying there. And also another study went out in 2020 and the Journal of Neuropsychology showed that deep breathing actually sensitized the brain waves. Oh my gosh. This is fascinating, because during a Reiki session, you often report, and other people report, that feeling like they're entered a meditative, dreamlike state. That's what I call being Reikified. And I'm just laughing, because that's just this energy where your brain is shifting into theta waves. And it's very similar to the waves linked to restorative and the healing. So here's where Reiki and neuroscience meet. Breath is the conduit of energy. With every inhale, you invite universal life force energy into your system. With every exhale, you release what no longer serves. That stress, the overwhelm, whatever that might be, because Reiki actually, in this healing, amplifies this natural flow by balancing your chakras, clearing your biofield. So you breathe in energy work together. So your breath and energy works together. Think about this. In Reiki, we often place hands near your heart. And science study shows that breath regulates heart rate variability, a key marker of emotional resilience. Two languages, same truth. The breath restores harmony in the body, in the mind, and then spirit. So when you combine breathwork, Reiki, and neuroscience, you're not just calming down, you're literally rewiring the brain, realigning your energy, and reminding your body how to heal. It's the magic. The magic pill isn't outside of you. It isn't. Where is it? It's not. The magic pill is not outside of you. It's inside every inhale and exhale. Reiki simply helps you to remember how to use it. And that's how Reiki is. Isn't it amazing? And we're going to get so much more than that from these two gentlemen that are experts. And they're coming on in just a few minutes. So first of all, I want to say thank you for you to be here on this special. I so appreciate you, and I can see you, and I celebrate you. And this is a beautiful quote that was out of one of Eldin's books. And it says, our brain is often called the biggest liar because it's designed to make us happy. It's designed to keep us safe. It isn't designed to keep us happy. It's designed to keep us safe. I love that one. And we're about 2 seconds away, but before we bring them on, I'm going to go to a commercial message. And then right after that, we'll bring on the amazing Eldin and Preston to talk about this important topic and tell us who they are and how they got into this. So here we go. We'll be right back after this.
Traditional business cards are often lost or forgotten. This can lead to missed opportunities and wasted time and money. Java Logics offers a unique solution. Eco-friendly paperless business cards that are easy to update and share. With our QR code, you can share your card with anyone, anytime, anywhere. It's the easiest way to share your details. Interested in getting one? Click on Get Offer and get your own digital business card today.
And we're back, and the guys are getting ready to come on any moment right now. I cannot wait. And remember, get your digital business card today. You know, we're all going to digital. Go ahead and take a picture of that. You'll call Preston, not this Preston, my other Preston in Canada. Call him up. He's a ninja, and he can help you out. So without further, let's go and see. The guys are ready. Where are we at? We're going to welcome these beautiful souls right now. Here we go. Hey, guys. So good to see you.
Hello. Thank you, Angel, for having us today. Thank you for, being who you are and, everything that you're representing in the world. Thank you for being the energy, right? You are the energy conductor. So I absolutely love that.
Well, thank you so much. And Preston, if you want to go ahead and start and tell us who you are, because I've known you for almost a decade, and I do so much with you, with what you do in life. But tell the folks, who are you?
Thank you. Well, for me, number one role in my life is I'm a dad, right? I'm a dad of three amazing kids. I've been married to my beautiful wife for the past 17 years now. And I've known her. This next month will be the 20th year that I've actually known my wife now. So outside of that, I'm an adventure guy. I used to be, well, I still am kind of an extreme sports guy. I love things that go fast and make me fly through the air, and things like racing cars. I was in the car business in the past, and I love cars. I am like a car nut to the T. So any car people out there, you're my immediate default friend, no matter what. But anything cars or racing or going fast or adrenaline inducing is something that's right in my wheelhouse.
I totally get you. I used to be a mechanic. I was the first woman mechanic out of California, way back then in the 90s, actually the 80s. And I get you because I used to work on cars all the time. I love cars. I do. And I don't talk about that, but yes.
So we'll have to talk more cars later.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I've rebuilt them. I'm a mechanic. Yeah. And I love going fast. Yes, that's why I jump off cliffs.
Awesome. Awesome.
So thank you for being here, Preston. And let's jump over to Eldin out of London coming on this morning. Tell us a little bit about you, please.
Well, first, Angel, thank you for having Preston and I on your show. It's an absolute pleasure. And you are my soul sister. For your viewers and listeners, if they are not familiar with this, we've met with Angel in March when she was an energy conductor at one of our events in Phoenix. And Angel is just incredible. I love Angel, her energy, and she just transformed the entire space. When people actually walked in, they just could not believe. Everybody was saying the energy is amazing of this space. And actually, the owner, Kevin, I told him, now your place is going to be even more profitable now with the energy conductor, Angel Marie, doing her magic, delivering her energy. And yeah, it's incredible. So I'm very grateful to be on your show today. And yes, I'm in London, England, and my amazing business partner, Preston, he is in Arizona, in Gilbert, and we've been in business together for now close to 6 years. And we actually met online. And so, yeah, we work together, we deliver um, trainings to companies as well as hosting retreats and workshops. And we have an online academy as well, Formula EQ Academy. So my background, I'm a neuroscientist and a scientist, if you will, for the last over 30 years. But I'm an entrepreneur. I have a real estate business for close to 30 years. I studied psychology and neuroscience, but then I went into finance and real estate straight out of college because my friends at university said there's no money in this psychology thing. And then being a young guy, I wanted to make money, so then I went into finance and real estate. And I am still in real estate. I actively seek investments for my own portfolio, as well as, we have a lot of rental properties in the UK as well as overseas, like in the country called Mauritius. We have a lot of holiday rentals that we invest in. And and now my brother Preston, he's been asking me to start looking at investments in Arizona. And he's been sending me like houses like down the road from where he is. It's like, look at this house. It's only 2 minutes walk from my house. Look at this house. It's so funny.
Well, that would be awesome to have you here in Phoenix, Arizona, or in Gilbert, or just in Arizona in general. And I know that your wife would love that. I got to meet her also. And thank you for the beautiful words, but they really touch me, and I'm blessed that you see me as I see you, viewers. So let's just jump right in. So thank you for that, because I want everyone to really get some golden nuggets today, because it is the hottest thing going, isn't it? I mean, we've got studies coming out all over the place about this breath work. And, studies, now point to the use of all this wearable technology. I don't want to talk about that yet, because I want you to really talk about what is this breath work and what got you inspired, both of you. For one, what inspired you to get into this? So we'll start with you, Preston, what got you into it, and then we'll go to Eldin, and then how did you guys get together? How
Yeah.
did you find each other? That's a good one too.
Yeah.
And so let's start with you, Preston.
Yeah. So, really what got me into this was actually the beginning of this was me as a little kid. My parents got divorced when I was 2 years old. And I was trying as a kid to understand why people that loved me said different things, right? They had different stories and different situations. And I got kind of put into the middle of this divorce, like many kids, do. But it as a little kid, it gave me a fascination why people do what they do and what causes them to actually do that. And so I've literally studied human thought my whole entire life. I've studied from thought leaders. Even as a child, I went to all the, speakers and the coaches and different things. I went to my first Tony Robbins seminar when I was 16, and I walked on coals. And most 16-year-olds aren't willing to fly to Atlanta and invest in a Tony Robbins seminar. But that wasn't even the beginning of my journey. That was the middle. And then going on as a person, becoming a business owner, I've been a very successful business owner, but going through my own struggles, going through my own personal challenges is what took me to the next level. Because I took all these things that the experts have been teaching for a long time, and there was a lot of great information, but something was missing. Something was missing that didn't allow me to fix myself when I was in the darkest space in my life. And I learned a couple of techniques and a couple of principles that helped me to get through that. And then I combine those into everything that I've learned. And that's, really what's led me to, my teachings and my understandings today.
So, wow, you started way early on in getting those together. And viewers, I want you to know that you don't have to start that young. You can start today, right now,
right,
to really connect. And they
Yep.
have online stuff and in person. We're going to get to that. But today we're going to start. And I want to say thank you to everyone on the line. I can see you. Thank you for any questions. Go ahead for these guys. Start putting the questions up. So thank you, Preston. Over to you, Eldin.
Yes, I've heard these stories from Preston, many times in person as well as while we are teaching. He's sharing these stories because it's very relatable, so we are human as well. We are work in progress. There's no finished article, there's no such a thing as perfection, which is misleading in the dictionary and thesaurus. It's, there's always another level. So what led me to be, doing the work that I do today, especially breath work, and I actually invented many proprietary techniques that, are based on cutting edge neuroscience. And how did I go about it? I already have been a neuroscientist by the time I started traveling to India, living with monks. I lived in total for 2 years with monks in India. The longest stretch was 6 months. This is when I had to go on some deep healing because of some of my own trauma. But initially was I wanted to understand, to kind of bridge the gap between the science and spirituality, because, a lot of language that is used in the science is just describing the same thing that the ancient traditional teachings have been teaching for thousands of years, right? And so I wanted to go and learn from the masters where all these teachings originally originated from. So only to come to the conclusion that there is no many truths out there. There's only one truth. It's just they're using a different language. Now we use the language of quantum physics and the language of the neuroscience and some other sciences to actually explain the same truth. But back in the day, the language was, the days of Buddha was a different language, was more mystical, was more talking about the mysticism and chakras and energy. And it was still like a lot of questions unanswered, even people like repeating these phrases like parrots. There was a lot of like questions unanswered because people say, look, I have a body, I have a brain, I want to know how it all functions, what actually moves the needle. So this is how I am feeling, or this is the problems I'm having in my life. How do I fix these problems? And how do I move the needle from when I don't feel good, like the darkest night of the soul, to actually what can I do? What is the blueprint so I can feel good? So I can feel like I have inner peace, I have balance, as we say in science, homeostasis, which is human default state. How do I do that? So this is why I decided initially when I started teaching, what I teach today, I was using the language that the masters taught me, and I realized that there was leaving some sort of skepticism kind of people were like, oh, is he trying to convert my religion? There was a bit of dogma, superstition, and so I realized if I use the language of the science, then people are more receptive, especially men. You see, um,
Yes.
men, when you tell them it's science and there is a blueprint to follow, they're like, well, I like that. They're very kind of logical, and as a result, we had many men in our last retreat in at the end of March in Phoenix, Arizona, and some of them, like there was this American, former professional American football player. It was like 350 pounds. The guy actually, it looks like an incredible Hulk still today. He was a big CEO of like some financial company. He came and he opened his heart for the first time in a long time, and he said, I want to thank you on behalf of my wife, because she says that she has her hunk back. The guy that she was dating is back after
But
like
this is
15 years.
so beautiful, and I was there, so that is so beautiful. So I want you viewers to get what we're talking about here. With Eldin and Preston, both of them said the reason they got into this is because they had their own traumas to take care of.
Right.
And I want everybody to hear that, because we all have them. And that's why I've been doing what I've been doing for almost 30 years, because I had my own stuff and it wasn't working just going to the regular. So I want you to hear that. So now, please tell us, how did you guys get together? Like, how did you find each other? And being in London and Phoenix, like, how did that happen?
Yeah. Well, I'll take that if you want it first. Yeah.
But Kay, I want to tell a story,
Okay.
because
All
my
right. All right.
story is going to make people cry, and they're going to be like, I believe in miracles. Amen to that. So basically, it was a miracle, right? It was a miracle because, our mind is not a magnet, is a selector by using our attention and our focus. So my attention and focus was, about 15 years ago, I read a book by Mark Victor Hansen, Chicken Soup for the Soul book series. And then I was like, one day I want to be like this guy. I want to meet him. And around 6-7 years ago, I really got inspired. I want to write a book. I want to write a book. And by that time, I read all of his books, and I was like, what if Mark Victor Hansen becomes my mentor? He teaches me all the tricks, and he teaches me how to become an author and how to become a bestseller. What if that happens? And I was like writing it down, and I kind of visualizing. And then, 6 years ago, this guy called Preston Weekes, my business partner, he messages me on LinkedIn, and he says, Eldin, I'm a chief operating officer for Mark Victor Hansen, and I'm selling the course in how to, become a published author. But he wasn't a salesy kind of, pitch. It was very nicely written, and something, attracted me to the way he was writing on the message on the LinkedIn. And I was like, thank you, but I'm already a published author. And we just started chatting on LinkedIn, and then we realized that we kind of clicked. And we said, let's have a Zoom call. And we had a Zoom call, and we aligned. Our mission was identical. We wanted to change the world. And we said, why don't we set up a company together? And we did, Formula EQ Academy. And then how I started with Mark Victor Hansen. So I had the podcast, and I said, well, I still have, and it's called The Human Experience. And I said, do you know any famous people in the United States who will be happy to be a guest on my podcast? And he said, I know this guy called Mark Victor Hansen. I said, of course you do, because you are his chief operating officer. He said, I will ask him, he might consider. So Mark comes on the podcast, also Crystal, his wife. And 6 months later, he tells me, oh, by the way, those two people who were on your podcast, that's my mother and my father. I'm like, my stepdad, basically. I was like, you kept that quiet, didn't you? He goes, well, to be honest, yes, I love you. we have a company together, but I was kind of testing to see, do you have ulterior motive? Is it, genuine that we have love for each other and respect for each other, or did you just want to be my friend because you want to have, access to Mark? And then fast forward the March 2025, Mark Victor Hansen grabs me, kisses me, and he said, Eldin, you are my adopted son. I love you. And I'm like, please, somebody pinch me. Is this really happening? It was like,
I do remember how excited you were when
oh
he
my God.
could get to meet him. That was amazing. And the energy with that. And if no one knows, Mark Victor Hansen has written over 350 books. Is that correct?
Just over 320 right now, 59 number one New York Times bestsellers, over 500 million books sold.
Yeah. The Chicken Soup for the Soul is in the Guinness Book of Records for best author for the non-fiction book, best-selling author for non-fiction books. Yeah. It's incredible.
Wow. So isn't that a beautiful story, viewers? Because why? When you really want something, go ahead, and this is going to help. Some of this neuroscience and what we're going to talk about will help you to get to that. So that's how you guys met. That's the passion that you have together. And, I just want to start out that, a lot of the research, it mentions ancient wisdom and modern neuroscience and aligning this, And a lot of the recent studies, they have the breath-based methods in mental health, and it transforms you. Who wants to kind of add to kind of telling, because we don't know with my viewers how much they really understand about this breath work stuff. Mm-hmm. So kind of an intro a little bit.
Yeah. You want to take that or me, Eldin?
No, it's okay. I can take it. So you see, brain and body, not just the brain, we store a lot of energy and a lot of emotions in our body. Somatic, soma means body, right? So a lot of people are not aware. They're like, okay, so why am I feeling like this? And why do I feel pain in my lower back? Why do I feel like cough is coming? I have pain in my throat. I have migraines. I have like pain in my chest, my solar plexus, or in my gut. Like I have these cramps in my stomach. They think it's something, I ate something, or like I didn't, maybe last night dinner didn't agree with me, acid reflux, But all of that is down to these undigested emotions and energies being in your nervous system. But because they've been in your body, in your nervous system for so many years, it's very familiar to you. This is all you know. And you keep maybe, I don't know, taking something to get rid of that gas in the stomach, or, tension, or you might, drink something, and then that pain in your solar plexus in your chest goes away. But it's only a temporary solution because you have not released. And also many people generally just breathe very shallow, just to their chest. They never go beyond to their stomach, to even below the navel, which you're supposed to very frequently do deep breaths. And as a result, that begins to signal certain chronic conditions within your physiology. That is the root cause, because also when your body is in that state, it's usually in a state of fight or flight, state of stress, state of survival. And that obviously no organism can survive in the state of stress for a prolonged period of time. And then that's the causation of many chronic conditions, which actually has been proven by medical science. They say 98% of doctors' visits are down to the self-perpetuated state of stress. So if you don't know how to self-regulate your nervous system and release these energies and emotions and traumas from your nervous system, that you didn't put them there. You maybe as a child went through something, or a young adult went through something, or multiple times even as an adult, and now, you never processed, you never digested, but not even when you do the experiential, kind of immersive experience with what we teach. We don't need to know who did what to whom. We don't need to know who's at fault. We don't need to know the story. We don't need to know any of that, because if we get you to tell us a story and relive the trauma, it's actually going to be more detrimental to you. So we say, why don't you go below your neck, and we teach you how to switch off your conscious mind, so you are in a no time, in no space, no identity, no body, and we just guide you through releasing what no longer serves you, which has been there maybe for decades. And one lady said, you've healed 60 years of trauma in 1 hour. She had something happen to her when she was 7, and we did this a proprietary protocol, which is inner child wounds trauma healing protocol that we invented. You can't find this on the internet, or or anywhere for that matter. And this lady, she said, you healed 60 years of trauma in 1 hour. And because there's a many great speakers out there, they teach things, whether it's in person or online, but if I'm going to be honest, they're just talking heads. No disrespect to anyone, but the reason being that 99% of people who attend the workshops that Tony Robbins teaches do nothing about it to transform their life, is because they have not addressed the root cause of the problem. It's a lot of surface level teachings where people go home and nothing really moved the needle,
I
and
totally understand, and that's a good point. But yet also, it's so jumping back to what Eldin said. Your issues are in your tissues, and that's something that I say a lot. Your issues, and he can use it. Issues are in your tissues, and that's what we're talking about here. Is your vibrational field, and really, like this person asked, please also speak to how rewriting neurotransmitters missions with social media has changed our ability to downshift breath properly and transition into that really long word. Can you guys see that?
Neurosympathetic, yeah.
parasympathetic nervous system.
So
Yeah.
can one of you kind of speak about how we rewire the neuro, like
Yeah.
what is this person asking?
With your permission, can I teach a 20-second technique?
Ooh, okay, everybody, these are writer downers, so get
All
it
right,
out.
no, let's have an experience that you can write it down. Yeah? All right.
Let's have an
So
experience.
this is how you do it. It's a breath called 448, and then we're going to do a powerful declaration. So that's the importance. 448 declaration. All right. So this is how you do it. You inhale through your nose for count of 4, down to lower abdomen. Then you hold your breath for 4. And you exhale through your mouth for 8. And then just stay in that space and declare, I am enough, I am safe, and I release anything that no longer serves me. And I highly advise anyone, put it in your timer, in your phone, in your to-do list, that every 1 hour you get a reminder. Breathe, declare. Breathe, declare. And as you keep doing this on a regular basis, you are rewiring your neural pathways to actually deliberately and intentionally regulate your nervous system to be in the parasympathetic like a parachute gliding. That's your default state of inner peace, state of homeostasis. You can research, maybe use AI to find some declarations that are meaningful to you and expand on it. Have one main one and then maybe have several in the morning or in the evening. But breath plus declaration is very powerful. This is different to affirmation, because you are, with breath, you're regulating your nervous system, and then you are declaring, you are saying to the universe, I am no longer that person who is a victim. I am choosing this life. I am strong. I am enough. I am worthy. I am loved. I am lovable. And this is who I choose to be moving forward.
Yep. And I
Yeah.
want to explain a little bit too about what's happening. So, breath is, first of all, breath work is the fastest way you can physically change your state. That there is not any other way to change your state quicker than to do it with breath work. And there's different ways to do the breath work that can change your state into a different type of state that you can actually control. That's why we teach, we call it the magic pills, right? Because it's like taking a magic pill to go, okay, I want to feel this. I do it this way, boom, it happens. But also, too, I want you to notice something that we're doing. And this is why what we do really works. We're not using in our events, in our experiences that we create in our academy, we're not just using one modality, right? We're actually coupling breath work with neuroscience, with different audio frequencies and different things, and we're using all sorts of different tools at the same time in order to get your body into a very intentional, specific state that allows for change, right? So it's scientifically proven. So we do this in a way, and then the declarations that Eldin's saying is part of neurologic reprogramming or subconscious reprogramming, right? So when you're in a state, if you can get your body into a state, your brain is more receptive to reprogram. And when you go in through certain techniques and certain experiences combined with all of these different modalities, that's the key to permanently reprogramming these things that you don't want, that don't serve you, that downregulate you, that make you less strong, and it don't support you to be the amazing, beautiful you, right? We can actually create a new program, a new operating system that you operate from, so that you don't experience that anymore, or you experience that in a much more manageable way than you've ever experienced in your life. And that's what's important. That's what actually creates the transformation inside, is coupling these things together. And sometimes people, they say, oh, it's too simple, they don't believe in it. But this stuff is proven through scientific studies, through so many different avenues across the world, that it works. But when you combine all those things together, it works in a way that people have never experienced before in their life, and it unlocks all of your potential, and it blocks away the things that are keeping you from being the energetic light, like you, Angel, that to show up in the world, right? And that's what we want. That's what we want, is your human experience, like Eldin says in his podcast, right? Your human experience is what matters, right? How do you feel when you go through things? How do you feel when you're going to go into work? How do you feel when you come home? How do you show up to your people that love you, after you've gone through life and you've got to transition into your personal life, right? And how do you magnify that to be the most you can possibly create?
And I want to add, that is beautiful. And I love how both of you really helped everyone to understand. And I hope that helped you, viewers, and put some questions if you would like. And the thing is I went through this. And like I said, I've been doing a lot of this stuff for almost 30 years, and it changed my whole life. And to this day, not today, but every day, yet I get up and I do the breathing that he taught us, and that both of you taught us. And the thing is going to this event, physically going to the event and feeling safe.
Yeah.
You must feel safe. And this is part of what I do too, but yet you, both of you, in the love that you have, and I'm going to say that the love and the admired and the how you guys work so well together. And then you brought in the senses, you brought in the music, you bring in even the smells, you brought in how we feel, the relaxation. Bringing that all together felt safe. And I was able, with my childhood assaults that I had since I was 2 years old all the way until adult years. And what happened was, is you remember, Preston, because I came to you and I said, Preston, I'm right on the edge
Yeah.
and I want to go through the edge, but I'm scared. And I said that.
Yeah.
And Eldin, you were working with some other people. It was on and I remember because Preston, you said, got you. And it wasn't just his words. I could feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said some things, which I don't need to repeat, but you said some things that totally went, and like you said, unlocked.
Yep.
And in
Yep.
that moment, I haven't had that issues in my tissues, if you would.
Yep. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. So I want to thank both of you, but yet also it takes courage, viewers. And I want you to step into this courage because online, they've got all kinds of stuff online if you're not here in the Phoenix area, or come here in the Phoenix area. And I'll show you that right now, what we have coming up. But I wanted to say that because those energies.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Well, I love
safe space to feel vulnerable, isn't it? That's it. That's what we create.
Mm-hmm.
With your help, Angel, as well, because as I said, the people walked in and they said the energy is incredible here.
Mm-hmm.
And most people never met each other. Yeah, well, some people came like +1, but most people they never met each other before. And then what happened as a result of attending, we have the accountability program that we actually prescribe during the live event that lasts 12 months, and we pair people up to become each other's accountability partner. And that's another priceless, I would say, thing that we do, which encourages people to then implement and follow through on the teachings that they have learned and to integrate into their lives. And we've been hearing so many miracles after the event, that so many people as accountability partners have been working together, being there for each other, and it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It really has changed my life, and still to this day. And so I'm excited to go through it one more time. I just put it on the chat for everybody to see, but I wanted to bring up this from your book, Eldin, because I have your book.
Oh, yes, the Love Reset, yeah.
And in this book, you said you are a soul wearing a human disguise. You are here to remember who you are. What you love is the key to your purpose. Can you share? And I really want you to share the purpose and how the emotional healing started, and why you said that in here. Because this book has changed my life. I go through it. I mean, there's a lot I write in here. I write a lot.
Yeah, it's basically a 12-month training manual where I coach you twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. In addition to some empty pages in the book, you get yourself a nice notebook so you can do the exercises. And why I said that, so that's why many years ago when I started my podcast, I asked my wife, what do you think I should name the podcast? She goes, duh. All she said was duh. I was like, the human experience. And, the name Eldin Hasa, it's not who I am. It's just two words given to me by my parents when I was born. This is a meat suit. So I'm a spirit and a soul and a consciousness. That's who I am and what I am. And it's eternal and everlasting. So this meat suit and this name and the religion and whatever, all of those things have been given to me. And the way that I describe things in the book, I introduce you to things, but ultimately it starts with you. not only what are the challenges that one faces, but also, most importantly, it's the blueprint in how to overcome those challenges. First, with the self-love, because he says neuroscience tools for self-love and happiness. Well, if you don't have the self-love and happiness, everything else that you have in your life, it's kind of meaningless, because even the relationships you have, they are not really functional, because if you don't have unconditional self-love and that happiness in every cell of your being, what you perceive as love, is it really love?
Good one. Good one. It's so true. It's so true. And thank you, everybody, still coming on, asking questions. They wanted to see the book title. So that's why I did that, because they wanted to know the book title a little bit better. So, and also you say every morning you wake up, grab your phone and scroll through the scene without thinking. You get in a rush, feeling heaviness in your chest. So, what actionable steps can the viewers take? One of you take that. What can they do? And I know
Please,
that
Preston, go ahead.
Well, yeah. So a lot of people, they live life in response, right? And I think this is one of the biggest problems actually in society today, even with the things that you consume, right? The parts of life that you consume. I say there's active consumption and there's passive consumption. Passive consumption is life by algorithm, right? Scrolling through this device, being vulnerable to whatever that algorithm feeds me, right? And whatever it's going to do to manipulate my emotions, my thoughts, my focus, right, of every single day. And unfortunately, this is how most people live, right? And not even if you're in social media, but you pick up your phone. Most people wake up, the first thing they do is pick up their phone, right? What do? You check to see if anyone's contacted you or reached out to you most of the time, right? But then you're living the rest of your day in response. So those actions are leading you as to who you're going to be, how you're going to show up, what you're going to do, what you're going to create. And also it sets up your feeling for how you're going to experience those things that you go through in those days. So what the most important thing to do is to create space for yourself. And in this busy, busy world today, we need it more than ever. Intentional space that you create for yourself is absolutely critical. Like, it's life-changing, it's mandatory. So what we teach is a morning routine. And the best way to do that is to not pick this up, not pick that device up, but to use three things in the morning. One of them is meditation and prayer, right? Meditation and prayer, the difference to me is internal versus external. Meditation is internal, prayer is external. Principally, they're kind of similar, right? In that way. Then the next is motion. Motion can be, whatever it is for you. Like, Eldin and I both go to the gym. When he comes here, we went to the gym every single day together and worked out. I'll go do, my routine or whatever. But maybe motion to you is just, getting up and walking around the house. Maybe it's walking around the block. Maybe it's running a marathon,
Tai
right?
Chi.
Whatever it is, it's Tai Chi. And, get your energy and your flow. But the motion. And then the third is personal study. Personal study is what you want to do. It has nothing to do with your business. It has nothing to do with what's happening in the world. It has only to do with things that light you up or things that you want to know personally to benefit you. And so I read a book or I do different things like that. And I don't do passive consumption when I do personal study. I'm intentional. I choose what I'm going to study, when I'm going to study it. But by doing these things, we can protect ourselves, right? Because we're creating our own space to allow ourselves to create our own energy. And a lot of people have talked about morning routines, but there's just a cool couple little things that you can incorporate into yours. And I have people tell me all the time, Preston, I'm too busy, right? I'm too busy to do all this stuff. And I will challenge anyone who does that, because when I recenter myself first, and I wake up at sunrise and I try to live on circadian rhythm. So I wake up about 5:30. I don't take a meeting till 9. So I have about 3.5 hours that are my time during that day to do whatever I want. And then I kiss my kids before they go to school, and those things, be a dad, be a husband, take care of me, and then I can go on, to do those things. But yeah, if we're not doing these things, we're setting ourselves up for failure. But if we do it, we perform better. So there's a thing called the zone, right? When you're focused, it's like all high performers know about the zone. You can see it in professional athletes, where what happens when you're in the zone is you're absolutely hyper focused. You're not distracted. You don't have these things like ADD, attention, grabbing things around you. You can laser in, and nothing else literally exists in the world. And people go in and they do superhuman capabilities. You can do this yourself every single day when you go to work. And if you spend the time to set yourself up, you'll be 10 times faster at what you do. The work that you do will be 10 times more valuable and more effective, and you'll have clarity like you've never, ever experienced before in your entire life. And so that's why it's critical, because so if you don't, we always say, if you don't have 15 minutes to meditate, take an hour.
I love that. And giving those three really helps. And I really want everyone to write those down. And thank you, everybody that's coming on, from Amelia to Linda to Emma to, oh my gosh, so many people, Carol, to, there's so many people coming on. So thank you so much. But I want to give you a mic drop. I do. I want a mic drop right now. Bam! Because you, Preston, hit it right on the nose. Because you to take the time, and Eldin, you said it too. You guys, you both know the importance, and that's what you teach in this retreat that is coming up at the end of September. It is huge. I've already gone through it, and it completely reprogrammed my energy field. And before we go over to Eldin, because I want you to also connect to that, I just wanted to ask you, Preston, because I know that, Eldin, you have the books. I have 11 books. We've got the books, but you're writing a new one. Could you tell us a little bit about the new one that you're writing, Preston?
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of writing my own book. I did a short book a while ago that was a great book, but I didn't get to put all my thoughts and all my beliefs in there because it was targeted towards what was happening in the world at that time and the partners that I was working with. So I'm writing a book really about happiness. It's really about happiness and the ability to live happiness all the time. And I say, it's kind of like a measurement tool, and we go through all these different emotions as people. We go through many, many different emotions. That's what creates the human experience that's the same in every single person across the world, right? Is we all go, people are so focused today on what divides us, right? There's race, religion, gender, politics, economic situation. The world's in a state of, contention because of the focus of that. But people are wrong. People that believe that are wrong, because we're all the same. We're all going through the same experience. The human experience is the same. We all go through different things, right? Different circumstances. But that circumstance creates an emotional response. It creates a feeling, and you feel happiness, you feel anger, you feel frustration, you feel sadness, you feel love, you feel joy, right? That's the human experience. That's what's important. That's what's powerful. We have the ability to control that relationship. We're in control of that relationship. We're not a victim to the things that happen around us. We actually have the power to deal with that. So I'm teaching people that difference of how that exists in their world and how to show up and how to create that. And really what it is to live happiness and live joy and live, really what the root is love, down at the base core all of the time. And it doesn't make you wrong for being sad or mad or grumpy or whatever, but it's the time, it's the measurement. How long do you spend in that time? Do you go through something and you feel sad for an hour? Do you feel sad for a day? Do you feel sad for a month and it turns into clinical depression, right? These are all real things that if we don't fix that situation or that moment, it just keeps affecting our life. And so that's what my book's about. So thank you so much for asking.
You are so welcome. I'm very excited to see and feel that. And I want to add to that, just before we go to Eldin, about adding to this, is that at the retreat, when I was there was a moment when I was having a moment. Like I was having a moment. And to have Preston came over and give me that hug. Now, most of you know I'm like 5'2", a whole $110 over here. And Preston's a pretty tall guy.
I have a 6'7" wingspan, so if I come in for a hug, I'm like a condor.
Yeah. And when he hugged me, this is the thing, having so much childhood assault, it could have triggered, but it didn't. Why? Because when he came in for that huge hug and Eldin was right behind him and it was hugging me, it wasn't them hugging. It was the universe hugging. It was an energy place of safeness. Yeah. And not only do I help with that, they do that also. And I wanted to say that because there's many places and retreats you go to when you do this kind of work, and you don't feel like you can really have that breakthrough because you don't feel that safeness. We all got to know each other, all of us, and that's what's going to happen here too. So I want to personally thank you, but then thank both of you for it's changed my life. And that's why I'm so excited to go through this again and be more of a facilitator also, but yet just holding that space. So thank you.
Yeah, and that's why we're here too. And that's why, we hire you to come and help us to create that energy, behind the scenes, right? Because the energy is what's important, right? The energy field that we're emitting as people actually creates our environment. It actually creates it. And that's why you felt that, is because the energy has nothing to do with my hug. I mean, I'm a good hugger, but it's the energy that I'm emitting when I'm in your presence. And because I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have these tools and I didn't have these techniques to be able to create how I show up as a person.
And so, in his biofield, remember we talked about the biofield. And if you're coming on late, go back, because that's why I explained it to you at the beginning of the show, to understand your biofield, because that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you mentioned in the beginning of the show too, before we came on, like aura and how it's woo-woo, right? And the kind of ideas like that. But I want to bring a little science to that. They say aura is that like light energy that's around you. Well, there's a scientific study done in Japan, and they took a person down into a zero light room that was underground, and they used these special super high, quality cameras that had amazing light sensors on it. And they looked at a human in perfect darkness with these cameras on. And do you know what they saw?
What?
Light. They saw light.
The aura.
Because we actually generate light from us. And the highest concentrations of light were coming from the brain region and the heart region, when they looked at that. And so, but when you say aura or your energy, that we have an energy field that we're also. So I ran a renewable energy company, and I learned as I was running that, there's energy generators, and you put a fuel into it, right? And well, what I learned is our bodies are energy generators. We put fuel into our bodies, and we actually create energy. We physically, in the most scientific way possible, we create energy with the fuel in our body. But I also learned this thing isn't a barrier. This thing is not a barrier. It's a conductor. It's a transmitter. So we're transmitting that energy that we create. And so if you're creating negative energy, you're transmitting negative energy. If you're creating positive energy, you're transmitting positive energy. And that's why you can see someone that walks into a room and you go, oh, wow, the feeling of the room changed. Or, whoa, something's different about that person, and it's because they're using that energy. And maybe you can't see it because we don't have the right, sensors and the right, technological tools, but it is there. And there's so many frequencies and things around us right now. And all of this is true. Like if you were in the right setup you could tap into a radio station right now. You could tap into someone else's phone conversation right now. You could tap into a TV channel right now. It's all around you. It's literally, you're sitting in it. You're sitting in the middle of it. And so, we had a conversation about this last week, but what is manifestation? Well, manifestation, actually, what you want already exists. And you're actually sitting in the middle of it. You're sitting dead center in the middle of it, but your radio is tuned on 96.3, and the thing you want is at 98.7. You just need to change your frequency to be able to receive the signal. And that's the difference.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Right on. Right on. Thank you for all of that. Eldin, please.
Yeah, you have to select it. You like literally you wake up every morning intentionally and deliberately, and pen and paper, everyone. I'm gonna add to the morning routine, which is before you even leave the bed. So you're lying down, you're using maybe your cell phone as the alarm. You turn it off, and you just remain lying down, maybe preferably on your back, and your eyes are closed. You take few deep breaths, and then you just decide. You don't leave your bed, you don't get up until you feel that energy of gratitude, energy of looking forward to all the magic and miracles of the day bringing to you, right? So you are an observer, observing. You are actually anticipating, inviting and anticipating magic and miracles into your life. And you are taking a few deep breaths and maybe saying, I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful for a good night's sleep. I'm grateful I have eyesight. Because some people, I hear stories, they go to bed, they wake up, they're blind, or they are unhealthy, So you are intentionally and deliberately aligning your energy. Because don't forget, there is a cortisol production in our body to wake our physical body up. So there's a bit of a higher level of cortisol naturally produced in your physiology. So how do you balance that out? Because if you allow cortisol to spike, and then you get few coffees and then it's spiking more, you're not starting your day deliberately and intentionally. And as Preston said, clients say, I have no time, and I give you an example. A client said, I have no time. And I said, so what do you do? He goes, before I leave home, I have 45 minutes. I said, what the heck do you do in 45 minutes? You're a guy, right? He's a CEO, business owner. He goes, well, I use bathroom, I brush my teeth, I have shower, and then I go. I was like, 45 minutes. I'm like, it's okay, yeah, getting dressed. I was like, okay, let's break that down. How much time do you spend in the bathroom doing your business, brushing teeth and showering? He said 30 minutes. I said, never heard that in my life. I said, like, do you dye your hair? Do you do your makeup? And do you do your nails? He goes, no. I was like, okay, so I'm going to teach you 3 techniques to combine the brushing teeth, the showering, and pooping. Yeah? He goes, well, yeah. I was like, what do you do first? He goes, I brush my teeth first, then I use the bathroom, then I shower. I said, okay, when you brush your teeth, brush it with a non-dominant hand. So right hand. He goes, yeah, I'm right-handed. I said, okay, left hand. And as you are doing that, I said, you look in the mirror and you do mirror work. 7 things I am proud of myself for. And you say one thing, and then you pause and embody that feeling that you are really proud. And when you finish those 7 things, then you say 7 things you forgive yourself for. Could be recent, could be in your childhood. You can go as far back as you want. And then 7 things you commit to yourself. And then when you finish that, you found time, right? All of a sudden, you did that maybe for 3 minutes, for 5 minutes. Because he said, sometimes I brush my teeth for 10 minutes. I said, put a timer and do it for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. I said, then when you go and sit on the toilet, you have an intention that say, whatever is leaving my physical body, any energies and any emotions and anything that no longer serves me is leaving my body with that. And then when you set the intention, then you take a couple of deep breaths and you start experiencing gratitude in every cell of your being while you're seated on the toilet. And then third, when you go have a shower, you do the same. You take a deep breath and you evoke the gratitude in every cell of your being, and you intentionally say, I allow this water to cleanse me, any impurities from my physical body, internally and externally. The water is washing all the impurities away from me. When you leave the bathroom, how do you think you're going to feel? And the client is on the call. This is like actually last Thursday on the call. He's this big CEO of a big company. And I saw him, he was like fidgeting on the seat. I said, what are you doing? He goes, I cannot wait to go to the bathroom to start practicing. Because he goes, I want to have a shower now. I want to go brush my teeth. I want to try it. This is so amazing. Oh my God. I was like, there you go. And then if you want, you can do a few push-ups before you you have a shower and whatever, do some prayer, whatever. But just that, it's enough to intentionally start your day with gratitude. You are rewiring your brain. Now you effortlessly show up as a happy, grateful person without having to make any effort.
No, yeah, that is beautiful. I love that. And all of what you said is really being, like Preston said, being present.
Mindful in the
Being
present
present.
moment. Yeah.
And that's the thing, because, and thank you for the chat fingers. And I just love that Kat just came on. She can't wait to see you guys. And Kat, she's already signed up for the experience on the 27th and 28th. So I can't wait to see Kat, one of my dear friends. And also, some people are saying that they sent you some invitations on LinkedIn. So good. And they'll get back to you on those. So, oh my gosh, thank you so much for all of the people coming on and connecting the way that they are. So let's move on to the next question. And I think one of the biggest ones is, can you share with me maybe a story, maybe from your book or the book that you are writing, as to whoever wants to go first, about that resilience, the human resilience, and how they show up and how they really connect in a different way to rewiring.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can go if you want. So yeah, resilience, I think, is really, the ability to continue on, right? It's the ability to keep going. And sometimes, there's a lot that's going against us. There's a lot of challenges, that we might be experiencing. And sometimes when we go through those experiences or we go through those situations in life, we start to create a feeling of lack. It actually comes from a feeling of, scarcity. It's the opposite of abundance. And, sometimes those things can feel really real, but one of the most important things to maintain resilience is to create a belief within yourself, to find that self-love, and to see yourself as a solution. So when I was going through some of my biggest challenges, in my life, I had made the mistake of connecting my identity to my company. I was wrong. I was completely wrong, because I had a great, successful car dealership. I employed my friends. I employed my family. I made millions of dollars every year. But something had happened. No, whole another story. But that was causing that to shut down. It had put that company at threat. And my identity had become my company, right? My personal success had become my company. And so when the company was struggling, I started struggling. And I, through a bunch of different learning and different things that I went through, and part of my journey that I helped that I had figured out, one of those missing pieces that I was missing, in my life at that time, that I figured out and added into my arsenal of tools to help me feel better, to create resilience, is to go, okay, I realized very strongly the difference between me and my company. And when my company was failing, I realized, oh, okay, it's my company that's failing, not me that's failing. And the truth was, and this is where most people go wrong, because when we go through a situation in life, we have a limited perspective. We have a very, very limited perspective. And like I can't see my hand right now, but you can see my hand. But once I look and I see my hand there, I go, oh, it's there. Now I know it's there. That's a new reality, right? I can't deny that now. So I was going through this limited perspective. I'm a failure. My company's, in trouble. I'm going to have to let go of all my family, all my employees. It's going to ruin their life. And I was practicing self-defeating behavior, right? But then I realized, wait, you're lying to yourself, Preston. You are someone who can take $1,600 and turn that into a company that employs your neighborhood, that employs your community, that does over $63 million a year in revenue. You have created opportunity. You've created solutions. You've done the impossible. And when I embrace that, who I am, a powerful creator, right, in the world, and I realize that, then it gave me the ability to refocus. It gave me the ability to move past the crap and realize that that was just a situation in that company, but I was the solution. And so I went on to create 9 more car dealerships and become the number 1 independent car buyer in the Intermountain West. But it's that thing that we trick ourselves, right? We trick ourselves. But whatever trauma, whatever challenge, whatever's questioned your resilience in life, you have gone through that with a limited perspective, because we can't see it all. I can't. None of us can. And so, taking the time to figure that out and reposition and build that self-love. There's a lot of different ways to do that, but to build that self-love and realize that you are the solution is the most important thing.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Eldin, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, well, emotional resilience is the key, hence the name of our company, Formula EQ, Emotional Quotient. It's actually done a lot of studies in America, I think, for decades, and they've interviewed 68,000 entrepreneurs and business owners in United States over the years, and they said they've identified that over 89% of success is down to emotional quotient, to emotional resilience, and only 11% of their success is down to their IQ, their skill sets. So if you're just focusing on developing your skill set and not working on your emotional resilience, you are not going to be successful in any endeavor. And this is actually also very important in every relationship, in your romantic life, in your love life, in relationship with your children, in how you show up in every area of your life, in every role, if you will, in every job role. But like I spoke to a couple over the weekend. My wife had uncle and auntie visiting. They are in their 70s, and auntie said they just celebrated 46 years of marriage, and they just came from the cruise in Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, all of that, and they loved it. It was incredible. For a kind of anniversary gift, uncle bought, or her husband. And I said, auntie, so what's the secret to your successful marriage, to happy and successful marriage? And unanimously, both of them said, it takes a lot of hard work every single day, and it doesn't get easier 46 years later. And I said, okay, I've been hearing a lot of this because I've interviewed a lot of couples for my book, and I write about it in my book. And the word, or the phrase that they use is effortless effort. And this is based on neuroscience. The repetition rewires the brain, creates neural pathways until it becomes a cluster of synaptic connections that now operate this behavior automatically. Now you just show up as this person. Yes, you are making an effort, but it's effortless, because it's like you don't make an effort to brush your teeth, you don't make an effort to get yourself a cup of coffee in the morning. You just do it effortlessly because you have the program for that. I mean, you do it effortlessly driving a vehicle, riding a bicycle, doing so many things effortlessly, because you have a program in your brain for that, which operates automatically. So emotional resilience is no different. It takes some practice to build that muscle to work, but the first step is becoming aware. Awareness, being mindful in the present moment, like catching yourself, like, stop telling lies to yourself. you know I, I failed, or the thing failed. I'm not a failure. But we often identify with something we are doing well or not doing so well, and this becomes our identity. We embody that as an identity, and that's a no-no. You should not do that. You should learn to separate. We are called human beings. We are not called human doings or human havings. There is always another level we can improve in having and doing, but at the core of who we truly are, we are already perfect. You don't need to
Absolutely.
improve the being.
Absolutely. I love that one. I am perfect. I am whole. I am powerful. I am strong. I am love. I am human. I am harmonious, and I am happy. These are powerful. And the resilience, you just put that in this retreat. Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Eldin.
was gonna say a funny story. So we have this thing at Formula EQ Academy when we do group coaching every Friday online on Zoom, and we have a particular way of encouraging everybody to introduce themselves when they come on the call in the comment section rather than lives. Like sometimes like 50 people turn up, 30 people. You don't want to have people say it verbally. They type in the comment section, and we say, "Hi, I am an amazing genius and I love myself unconditionally." And we encourage them to place the hand on their heart and feel that, embody that, right? And then, follow up with the name of the city or country you're calling in from. And I remember, last year, maybe 18 months ago, we had a gentleman from United States who came on as a guest. He wasn't a paid member. He came on as a guest because wanted to check us out and see if it's for him, so you can sign up, right, for a monthly, annually, kind of fee group coaching. What he written in the comment section: "I'm not a genius and I don't particularly love myself." And we started laughing after the call with Preston, and we're like, why in the heck would anybody say that, to a bunch of strangers on the call? I mean, okay, you don't feel like it, you have some discomfort, and yeah, we tried to help the guy, and we're like, okay, we said, well, this is a great news. We helped you to identify something that is within you. So you don't feel you're a genius, you don't love yourself. So what are the programs? What is the inner narrative that you currently operate from? If and this could be good question to ask the audience to introspect, so they can identify what are unconscious narratives that are actually sabotaging my happiness, my mental health, my love, my relationships, my success. Because trust me, we all have these inner narratives that govern everything we experience externally, in work, in romantic love, in relationships with our children, in how we show up, our energy, actually our aura can actually be affected based on these inner narratives and how we feel about ourselves and about the life.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. And I love Daniel coming on and giving us some safety and stuff. And then I love how he is speaking of harmonizing our universe within through metaphysical protocols. I love that comment. It's so true because that's what you're doing. And we're getting close to time. So if you could tell us a little bit, because I want everybody to come here, fly into Phoenix, Arizona, take this in person with these two amazing gentlemen, with me holding space. I love doing that. Tell us a little bit more about what they're going to get from that and why do they want to sign up? I mean, I know I'm going to be here every year.
I have a surprise for everyone. Preston doesn't know it. Angel doesn't know it. Okay, so there is a competition I want to run between now and the 27th of September, right? And how do you qualify to win one free ticket costing $497? So you're going to come as a guest. We will announce the winner on September 25. So September 25 will announce the winner, but it could be one of you. So if you haven't already bought the ticket, you could be that winner. To qualify, this is what you do. Share this recording wherever you're watching it, on YouTube or anywhere. Share with your community in United States, preferably, unless you want to fly from Europe, which we have people flying from Canada, from Europe. I'm flying from Europe, from London, England, right? And so this is how you qualify. You share with as many people as possible this recording, whether you are listening as an audio or as a video watching. Share with as many people as possible. And if you are sharing on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, tag 3 of us in, or at least one of us in, so we know, and then we are aware. Take a screenshot, story on Facebook, story on Instagram, so we know that you are sharing, and we'll put you in the prize draw for you to win that one ticket, and we look forward to having you with us. So that's a surprise for everybody on this call, actually, as well as the audience. And what will people experience? Well, what will people experience is 80% experiential, immersive, proprietary teachings, protocols to really move the needle, to transform your life. So, and it's about maybe 20% of it is theory and lectures. So we prepare you, so we tell you why you are doing what you will be doing and why you must continue to do long after the event is finished, to integrate so it really solidifies in your brain and body and you become the new identity. Because let's be honest, it's all about the 2.0 version. Because the version that perhaps needs something, rearranging inside to get to the next goal, to get the love of your life, to get to the $10 million a year revenue, to move the needle somewhere, it will not be able to get there with this version. You literally have to become somebody else, and we teach you how to rewire your biology and physiology to be this person today at the event. And also we have these proprietary teachings that we teach in solidifying that identity in the event with your eyes closed. So you are either seated on the chair or on the yoga mat, or you are lying down on a yoga mat with your eyes closed and a blindfold. There's a lot of dancing, amazing music, and amazing people, amazing network of people. They are brothers and sisters, lifelong friends. And according to some of the accountability partners, these two ladies never met each other, became a business partners, and already generated over $68,000 in revenue just from one client. And they have been business owners already with a different business, but this new company that they formed together because they met at our retreat and they opened a company recently, already signed up, and apparently they're about to sign up a second client. So it could be like a multi six-figure business in the next few months, just from meeting at our retreat. So we are looking forward to hearing more of these kind of miracles happening from what people experience at our retreat.
This is beautiful, and I really, viewers, I want you to really take in is that this is an experience. This isn't
Yeah.
just lip service that they're going to talk to us the whole time. No, you're actually doing it, and that's what put me over because I teach it, but to actually do it all weekend, it was already in that. And I want to say, Daniel, yes, I want to see you here because he's like, I now desire to be in attendance because of that. So come on, I want to see you. I want to
We
give you a hug.
actually had 60% in attendance were men. And I was like, this is usually full of ladies, but like a lot of men, they were feeling, because they said, I love science. I want to know the blueprint in how to move the needle. You have come to the right place.
And
So
over
beautiful.
half the people flew here for the event last time.
Yes.
Over half the attendees were across the world.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to happen the same way on the 27th and 28th of this month. And you do, and I will tell you this, is that you do want to upgrade to the VIP. Can you talk about that, Preston, and why? Because
Yeah.
go ahead.
So the VIP experience, after the event is finished, you get to go through everything, but you also get front row spots. You get, better pads. You get, some preferential treatment in the event. But on top of that, we get to go to dinner every single night. So 3 nights, we go to a very nice restaurant and we sit down together and we talk about your life with Eldin and myself and you
And other
a few
VIPs.
other
Yeah.
VIPs. And you create connections with people that are serious about improving their life. And you get real intimate support to go deeper after you've gone through the experience and really ground it and tie it into everything that's your goals and your dreams.
You know what I love about the VIP crew? The last retreat, nobody drank alcohol, and we actually stayed until 3 a.m. just talking, just laughing, dancing, talking, having fun. And it was like a big belly laughs. My ribs were in pain from laughter. And this is not just from Preston and I, it was reciprocated. Everybody, like Jill was saying something, Ryan was saying something, like everybody was chipping in, chiming, and it was so much fun. And we're like, soon it's going to be sunrise. Shall we go and get some sleep?
Yeah, the restaurant closed, kicked us out,
They
so we
kicked
went
us out.
across
We
the
found
street
another venue.
to a 24-hour drive-through and just drank tea and laughed in their lobby for
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. So it
See,
was incredible.
you see how this energy will work for you, and it'll change your life. Linda's even saying, great show. I'm going to rewatch and I'm going to share. Because Linda, that would be great for you to come too. I mean, this is so beautiful. I'm thrilled. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to do my genius at this event because I see and I saw that personally, and then I saw that people transform vibrationally, energy. And you're right, Eldin, you put it, and Preston, obviously, both of you, is that remember that you are the energy. That's the music of your life.
Yes.
And when you really learn the harmony of your life, of your vibration, and that's what they're doing on a really deep level here, that's when you can keep that flowing going and you keep shining and you keep that tuned. So thank you so much. Any other words before we go? Yeah,
The work is, we teach you the tools, but then we also teach you how to maintain that signal. So you are in the right radio station, because we are on this call in this radio station, there are multiple songs playing, multiple conversations being had, but we have not selected that one. And it's like choosing and selecting the one which aligns with your healed version, that you have that unconditional love. You feel sense of self-worth is 110%. There is no doubts. And then you go all in. You bet on you, or you go, all the chips are bet on you. You like place all the chips on red, black, whatever you want to call it, or on 7. But that's you, right? Before you can make a commitment to anyone else, you are telling the universe, I finally trust. But you're not trusting universe. First, you got to learn how to trust you unconditionally, without any doubt. And when you do that, this is energy, this is transmission. You're like a tuning fork. Humans are like a tuning fork. We are the receivers and transmitters. And then effortlessly you attract a business partner like Preston. You attract another colleague and a soul sister like Angel Marie. And the opportunities, many teachers have spoken about synchronicities and serendipities. It is the truth, because you don't know how it's going to happen, and your job is not to know how it's going to happen. But when you are aligned, then from this energy and inner alignment, from this state, the things begin to, come into your 3-dimensional world, and you are just in awe. You're like, wow, wow. And you just say, thank you, thank you,
That
thank
is
you.
such a thank you, mic drop on that. Boom! You guys both got a mic drop today. I love it. And please sign up. I can't wait to see everyone. Thank you for both of you for coming on, sharing your genius and this event that changed my life and is going to change many, many lives. Stay on the line with me for a second. Don't go anywhere. But I am going to say thank you to everyone and say goodbye to everyone. And thank you. And we will see you on the 27th, 28th. Any questions? Reach out.
Yep. Come join us if you're thinking about it. If you have any doubt, I guarantee you, I personally guarantee you, you will go through a transformation through this event. You will see the value in your life. We absolutely guarantee it. There's no risk to you. Come join us.
Yes, yes. Bye, everyone. We love you. We love you.